I love this land, and I've chosen it to be my home while I live and my grave after I'm dead. And I love the people, and have chosen them to be my people, to live and die with.
The land was our land, Samoa. We, the Samoans, were the people, and the man who spoke these words was Robert Louis Stevenson. We learned that to the people of the Western world, he was a famous writer whose works were among the most popular books written in the English language. But to us, Robert Louis Stevenson was a wise and caring friend who gave us his counsel and fought for justice for us. We did become his people, and he learned our ways and he learned our language. We grew to love and respect him. We called him Tusitala, the teller of tales. I was a chief in Lotofama. Tusitala became my friend. He often came to our village to talk with us. He soon became involved in the politics of all our islands. And with our future in mind, he studied all the sides of the problems. There had been warring for many years among our chiefs and among the Germans, the British, and the Americans. Tusitala wrote a book setting out these troubles.
O la wawa le atua I manuia Samoa.
He had common sense, and yet he was a man of honor. He was concerned for the future of our country and fought passionately for the release of our imprisoned chiefs. His advice was wise and humane. He always watched and listened carefully.
Malanga whainga malo. Whaftai tele, molenei, mealofa.
Tusitala was now one of us. At the top of Mt Vaea, he would find his final resting place. He would live with us forever. Here, beneath the mountain, he had chosen a large tract of forest land, and he built a grand house. It was given the Samoan name Vailima, meaning 5 waters for the 5 streams that ran through these forests. He told us he was born in a cold and distant country called Scotland. He was a weak child, and he battled all his life with a great sickness called tuberculosis. Then he came to the South Pacific. In our warm world, he seemed to find his health again. There came a time when we wanted to show our gratitude to Tusitala for his guidance and rare understanding. We decided to build a road to Vailima. We would clear the forest and plant an avenue of trees. We would call it the Road of Loving Hearts. In time, the saplings would grow to become tall native trees. We were writing our own living story in tribute to Tusitala.
these are granted to me, they shall be passed here, where I have found life most pleasant. You know, the man who has his heart on his sleeve and a good whirling weathercock of a brain, who reckons his life as a thing to be dashingly used and cheerfully hazarded, he may shoot up and become a constellation in the end. Under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with the will.
Death came swiftly and kindly to Robert Louis Stevenson. He had lived under its shadow all his life. He once said, one loses one's fear of death in Samoa. The news of the death of Tusitala spread swiftly through the island. It was the 3rd of December, 1894. He was 44 years of age. All through that night, over 200 of us labored to clear a path up the slopes of Mt Vaea, so that in the morning Tusitala might be carried to the summit and buried where he most wished to lie. Our people came from the villages all over the island. They came to Vailima with their gifts of flowers and fine mats to farewell Tusitala and to mourn.
Death, I've been waiting for you these many years. Give me your hand and welcome.
His family followed the coffin. His wife Fanny, who had kept a night-long vigil by his side. His stepchildren Belle and Lloyd. And his mother, who knew the unnatural pain of seeing her only child die first. Our men had gathered coral pebbles and crushed lava rock for the Samoan grave. We were according him the highest honor we know, the Faleo'o, the grave for a royal burial. We, the 15 chiefs of Samoa, were to carry his coffin up the long mountain track to his high grave. Robert Louis Stevenson was unique in the history of our islands at this time. He was a free, creative spirit who asked for nothing except friendship. He had no greed in his heart, no wish to trade or collect the bodies or souls of his fellow men. He felt no white superiority. The Samoans were his brothers, equal and free. He honored our traditions. He gave to Samoa the dues of a homeland, his life, his concern, and finally his death. And because he bothered to tread carefully into our lives, and because he lived among us with wisdom, we accord this rare man the honors of a chief.
Under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from sea, and the hunter, home from the hill.